Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to the Instagram series. This is CS Naik and today I'll be doing the very first video of Instagram series. So let me start with what is Instagram series. So Instagram series is a set of videos in which I'll be taking you through a walkthrough on how to build an Instagram clone in Node.js. So I loaded my VS Code here and with this simple browser extension in which I'll be displaying the live results here. And this is my code editor. You can download the simple browser extension to the extensions window. And I have loaded a simple base template here, an empty template on which we'll be working on very soon. So let me explain to you guys what each of the file here is. So the CSS folder contains the input.css and output.css files. So wherein input.css is the um, CSS file which declares the tailwind components for tailwind CSS, and output.css is the CSS file generated by the tailwind CSS library. And the images folder contains the reference image, which is the reference on what we're going to build today. So this is what we are going to build for the very first video of the Instagram series. So today we're gonna be focusing on setting up the basic server and on building this login UI. And the upcoming rest of the videos, I'll be going through the process of building the other pages as well as including the functionality. Yeah, as you heard, right? Today we'll be focusing only on UI. So the node modules folder we have there, and HTML file, and this is the server file. And so let me take you to the package.json file. So if you have any doubts regarding to how you to get this package.json file, or however to include the node modules and stuff, you need to go to the node tutorial as well as the npm tutorial on how to set up a project and how to start your and initiate your npm for a particular project, as well as how to download the modules. You need to visit the node tutorial, uh, and as you can see here, I have already included quite a few dependencies, which include the unicorns icon package, as well as we have Daisy UI, which is a Tailwind CSS plugin, and we have Express.js for server, as well as the material symbols, which are also an icon library by Google. So then we have tailwind.config.js file, which is a configuration file for Tailwind CSS. So how I uh, have this thing is like you could find this thing in the Tailwind CSS documentation. Yeah, they've explained it very neatly there. You may find it there in their official documentation, and uh, yeah, you can just copy paste it into your projects, or you can just follow this format. This is a very basic format on for Tailwind CSS. I've implemented Daisy UI here as a plugin for the Tailwind CSS. So what Daisy UI does is it provides more functionalities. That is, it provides more CSS classes like button, menu, and all, and many more such classes it provides, and makes Tailwind CSS even more better and easier to use. So let's start with the setting up basic server in express.js. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start setting up the server. So we have so first I'm gonna import the server. Yes, and then I'm gonna define the app express. So what this does is it defines the express app. So this variable app here is basically an express app, and now I'm gonna let it listen to all the URLs for the files in this root folder. So that is all the files in this root folder are gonna be treated as the static files, so that we can access them easier for through the front end. And yeah, this may cause security issues if you have some files which include confidential data such as secrets and all. So yeah, this thing is highly not recommended. But since this is just gonna be like an initial setup or like a basic setup, I'm gonna be using this thing which I'm gonna improve in the future versions. So stay tuned for the next episodes too. And I want you to watch this till the end and not miss not even a single episode. And watch this till the end. Okay? So now I have said this app.use this express the static their name. So what this thing does is it treats all the files in the directory, that is the root directory where this thing is running, where this code is running as the static files, and it lets the user or like it lets the front end fetch the files through direct URLs. So then I'm gonna define the starting endpoint, that is the base endpoint through app.root function. So the method is gonna be get. If you're not quite sure as to how to use express.js yet, you can just refer to the documentation, and I'm going to be trying to explain this as easily as possible. I'll try to make this as simple as possible so that you guys can keep up with me, as well as try not to get too confused with what this all this stuff is. Okay, this is basically very much simple. I'll try to make this as simple as possible, and yes, let's continue. Okay, so I'll import the path module. I'll let you know why this thing is required. um, Before that, let me just include the path module. Okay, now I have required the path module. Now what I'll do is, here I'll give path.join their name and index.html. So there might be some who are already familiar with the express.js, so they might quite already know what this thing does. But as for those who don't know, I'll come back to it. But before we come back to this thing, let me just finish the one last step for the server to start. So that is app.listen and 5000. So what is this thing? So what app.listen does is it sets the particular port. Okay, it listens to this particular port. So whenever a user requests that port for the website is sent to them. So how does this work? We'll see soon. So this app listens to this particular port, so that is 5000 for me, or you can just give any random number, or random port like 3000 works, 8000 works as well, or 550. So that works as well. You can have custom port, or um, you can define it however you want. So what I'm doing right now is I'm defining a function, that's a callback function for when this is complete. So I'll type server is running on port 5000. Now, why is this required? Actually, this is not required. You can actually skip this whole thing, skip this whole block actually. So why are we including this is because just so that we could get a message that the server is actually running. So when we run this file, when the server starts listening to the port, okay, this callback function is called, which prints the message to the console saying that the server is running on port 5000. This is used to indicate to the developer. It's used to make it easy for the developer to understand that or to find out if the server is actually running. This is useful in some cases where the server might not run due to some issues like uh, like maybe some continuous like a synchronous operation running in somewhere in between the codes, which can block the program, not letting the rest of the program execute, so the server may not run itself. Okay, so you need not be too much confused about this. So let me just make it simple. What this thing does is basically it just prints a line to the console saying that the server is running on port 5000 once the server is actually started running. Okay, so let's get back to this line. So what this thing does is app.root of slash. Okay, so what this thing does is when the visitor or the user visits that particular URL, that is just the base URL of your website, all right, so the browser, like what. So now, what do you mean by dir name? Dir name is the current root directory. For example, let's say e slash you m or projects slash Instagram. Let's say this is the current working directory that I have right now. And what this plus this will do is we'll just add here. So this will be the result path form. But this is not the same for actually all the operating systems. Okay. For example, Windows uses backward slashes for the file paths. So the backward slashes and forward slashes are actually different stuff. So this can cause some issues while referring to files. So this is not a recommended way. This is not how it works. This is not the same for all operating systems, so no. And now res.sendFile dot slash index.html. Now this is one other way of referring to the index.html file in the current directory. The dot represents the current working directory. So dot slash index.html will just refer to the index.html files being in the current working directory. Okay, this is a good stuff. But what this thing does is this also does the same stuff as this one, because here it is using a forward slash, but that's not sometimes there may be conflicts with the file paths and all. So to avoid those stuff, we use this path.join module. What path.join does is it just connects the paths provided. Like let's say for example, this name and the index.html. I have not provided any kind of slashes here, maybe backward slashes or forward slashes. I have just given the you know file name and the name variable. So now what this does is this function connects the paths using the appropriate slashes for the particular operating system. So it determines what operating system the code is running in right now, and it joins the path according to that operating system. And then res.send file, that is response.send file, will send the particular file to the front end. Okay, so here now we have the basic server ready. So now let's go and start working on the our website. Okay, UI. So before we start working, okay, let me just initialize the HTML part. This is basic UI. So now you might be wondering what this is. So I just installed the boilerplate, templates, tailwind snippets extension, which you can find from the extensions tab there. You can install the tailwind snippets through there and then use them directly like this. This gives you the entire tailwind, the basic HTML layout. Now, for people who don't know how this HTML actually works, I recommend you guys to go through the HTML tutorial on any of the YouTube channels, or maybe W3 School's website, or maybe Geek for Geeks, because they provide a really good explanation. You can find it really easy to understand there. So I won't be going through much detailed info regarding the basic HTML layout and all. I hope you guys are already familiar with this layout. So let's start with this. So now here we have the link tag. So I'll be linking the Okay, now what is nodemon? Nodemon is an npm script which is similar to node, and what it does is execute the particular file which I have provided it as you know the input there. and I provided index.js, so it's gonna run index.js. So how is it different than Node? So what it does is, along with running the file, NodeMon listens to the file change events in the working directory. So unlike Node, which only runs the file once, NodeMon listens to any file changes in the working directory and then reruns the file every time there's a change. And then we have here tailwind css command, which runs the tailwind css to make it compile the output file. So here we have npx tailwind css input file and then the output file and then watch command. Now what watch does is that it ensures that whenever I'm updating any file or whenever I'm saving any file in this working directory, it re-renders the output.css file, and it makes sure that it includes all the css files. For more detailed info on Tailwind CSS, please do visit the official documentation. Now let's step back into the uh, development. So what I'll do now is I'll start the Tailwind CSS uh, rendering. So I'll just type in here npm run tailwind css. Now what this will do is it will run the tailwind css command that I've defined in the package.json file. That is, it will run this long command. You don't have to type in the whole command in the console anymore, because okay, so what this will do is this will run the tailwind.css command, tailwind css command in the package.json file, and this will help you cut down on this entire line of what uh, code which you have to write in the console every time. You need not write this every time. You just need to write npm run tailwind css, and npm will run the command for you. So then I'll run this tailwind css command. Now what this will do is, yeah, it compiles the you know it renders the output.css file, which will contain all the classes which will be required by our in HTML file over here. It works in lifetime, so now when I save it, it will update it. And now for the demo purpose, I'm going to be using the built-in live server of the VS Code, because I'm not going to be using NodeMon for this execution, because what the live server does is the same thing, but here it will update this window in real time. So when I'm making the changes here, you'll be able to view the changes here because of the live server. So yeah, I'm gonna use this so that I can get the execution in real time. The guys can watch it while I'm doing it. Okay, now I'll refresh this once. Okay, it's port 5500. So I'll do it here, and we have the Instagram here. Now let me show you how this thing actually, why the live server extension in VS Code is useful. Now, let's say I add a padding of 3. Now, what is padding of 3 is it adds this gap between the, the x-axis and the y-axis, between the content and the borders. So we got this padding here. So this is how basically live server works. That is, if I make any changes, See, the tailwind re-renders it, and then you have this thing is also updated. Like for example, yeah, we have the updated padding there. So this is how live server works along with the tailwind CSS. Now let's look at the reference. Now what do we have here? We have here the language option, the select option we have here for the particular language selection, and then we have the logo or the title, and then we have the input boxes for the email and password, then the login button we have here, then forgot password or login with Facebook button, and then at the bottom we have here sign up button. So what you're gonna do is, let's make this really simple. Okay, so first of all, let me do a thing. That is, let me work on this part first. Alright? How do you do that? First, or rather, let's work on this part first. Right? So what do let's define the container tag. This is gonna be the section tag. Here I'm gonna give the flex class. What the flex class will define is and what we'll do next is I'll define the I'll split the window into three components or three sections. The one is going to be for this thing, and the another one is going to be for this block, this entire block, and the last one is going to be for this one. So how do we do that? First let's make three parts of that. So I'm gonna add three divisions. Yeah, you could just do there's a shortcut for this actually. So let me just show you how things done. So there star 3, you do it like this, you have it here. Okay, and now for the first one I'm gonna add the class display type as flex again, and then I'm gonna add justify center. Now what this thing will do is let me just show you guys. So let's say I have something like hi here. See, the hi is being displayed here right now. Now what justify center will do is justify center will do is it will just add this thing to the center. So add the hi line, the hi word to the center, and it will display it in the center there. So now I'm gonna add some padding there, like example p3. Yeah, let me just make sure it's full again, just so that we don't have any issues with interface. Okay, now no, not p3. I'm gonna give a bit more padding there. It's like p5. And I'm gonna hide this just so you guys can see the full window. Yeah, we have the p5 there. Now instead of high, I'm gonna add a select tag there. Okay, what is the select tag for? Yes, the same languages. So let's say let's put the name as lang, ID as lang, and I'm gonna the option value is English. English we have, or let me just put the value as en, and for English and some other language, for example, let's say Japanese, and JP here. Okay, now we have now we have a select tag here. Now, how to make this look like this? It's actually very simple. So what you do is you add a class attribute to this, and first you remove the background. So how to do that? You make the background as transparent, and then background goes. See, the background is gone now. So yeah, we have it there. And then the font, let's make it a bit more, uh, let's see, let's just make the light mode for now. So for the light mode, I'm gonna define the body colors, like BG colors. Let's just make it BG slate 100, and then see, we have it there. Now this is why widthful and heightful is required, because when you're declaring the um, you know, these things, see, only the this much height is considered right here. Now if I give height full, it'll probably, yeah, see, even height full can give stuff like that because it fits to the contents. So let's give height dvh. So what HDVH means is height is dynamic vertical height. Dynamic vertical height means it will, except for the top bars and all, it will calculate the height available in the viewport and it will use it. So now the entire view is used up, right? So let's just make sure this is a particular color, and that when you change themes from light to dark and all, you don't have any issues. So let's use text slate 400. So all the details about these colors and all is available in the Tailwind official documentation. So not slate white, let's just go with white, I guess. They need a pure white kind of stuff. It still looks different, but I guess we could get used to it. Okay. Then actually, white as a background color is never actually recommended, because white is actually a very harsh color, and it could strain your eyes very much easily. So white and black directly as background colors are never actually recommended. So it's actually best if always use other colors, like slight variants of white or maybe slight variants of black, etc. So we got the top part ready here. I'm keeping it English for now, and we have it ready. Yes, it's ready. And then the last part, let's work on the last part first. The last part is gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna give it as flex and justify center, and the content is gonna be, we have it here, don't have an account, sign up. So how do you do that? Let's just type it. Don't have an account. Okay, my bad. Then an anchor tag, then let's put in sign up. So now I'm gonna add text info. You know why is text info? Text info is because it adds that, link is color. Or maybe there's a text link. No, text link isn't there. So you could just use text info or text primary there. It makes the blue even more stand out. Yeah, we have it there. Sign up. Oh, it's gonna purplish. We're gonna stick to the theme a bit. So I'm just gonna give blue 500, and then I'm gonna give a space here. It still doesn't work out like that. Just add a space here. Done, and then to make doesn't have any underline there. So now I'm gonna add border T, that is border top, and then border top color is gonna be border slate 400, the same color which I gave to the text. Right, the colors look similar here. See, okay, we got the colors. Let me make it border T2, that is the increase the width to 2, and let me make a few changes, that is P2. Let me give some padding, and it looks like Tailwind CSS sometimes takes a bit of time to render stuff. You could get used to it. Okay, now let me show you how to render custom width. Like for example, Tailwind CSS provides border T, that is 1 pixel, border T2, that is 2 pixel. Now, since both of these are not working for us, I'm gonna use a custom one, that is border T 1.5 pixel. Now, if you provide a value like this, it will render it custom. So yeah, you can use it. See, this is how it works. And then here I'm gonna go with flex 1. Now what this flex 1 will do is it will utilize all the space in between these two. That is, this will be pushed to the top, this will come to the bottom, and this will the middle one will occupy all the available space in between them. So now looks like we got some issues. This is actually pretty small, right? Yeah, the text is actually pretty small. So what I'm gonna do is for the select tag, I'm gonna add text SM. There is a small text, and even for the div, I'm gonna add text SM. There's a small text tag class. Okay, and then you go here. You could either manually add it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then let me just add left padding just to make sure that it doesn't stick to the question mark there. And yeah, looks good. Yep. And then we Okay, so we have it right there. Border array 300. So what next? Next is we have the milk container. We gotta make this. So first we have flex form, right? We're gonna add the flex class here. I'm gonna add justify center. It's gonna align the contents to the center, and then I'm gonna add another class name this time, that is the item center. Now what this item center will do is very simple. Let's see. For example, let's just keep it justify center for now, and I'm gonna add high as a content. We have it here. Alright, high is being centered horizontally, and now I'll add item center here, and you know what's gonna happen here? High is gonna get centered vertically. Currently, looks like my tailwindcss is taking longer than expected to render the stuff. So yeah, I'll let you know how you could handle situations like this. Simple. Stop the execution, rerun it. And this could speed up the process. Alright. And then once we have this, we need one more stuff. We need a container for this thing. Alright, so I'm gonna just define a container. This will be the container. I'll just add class width4, h4, flex type is column, direction is column, right? Yeah. Now we have a problem, and that is we can't justify center and item center here, because in flex column the roles of item center and justify center will be reversed. Here justify center is not used for horizontal aligning, here it's used for vertical aligning, and item center is used for horizontal aligning just in case of flex column. In case of flex row, or like in default, justify center works for horizontal alignment and item center works for vertical alignment, but for flex column, justify center works for vertical alignment and item center works for horizontal alignment. So I'm just going to give item center here, and then the first thing that we're gonna have is p inside of that we have Instagram. Okay, this is gonna be the title of that stuff, right? And then okay, check some stuff. Okay, see, I gave the container h4. So what this h4 will do is, I'm not, vertically aligning it to center, so it will be on the top itself. So you just need to remove this h4 and it will just add it to the center. Now we got the title. Now the title font size is very large, so I'm just gonna add class text Excel. Gonna make it Excel size, and looks like we need more. So I'm just gonna add 3 Excel, and we're gonna have the appropriate height very soon. Yes. Right, enough for now. And I'm just gonna change the color to text slate 900. Alright, and then text slate 400 for this one, text slate 400 for this one. Alright. I need the font for the title, right? I'm gonna bring in the fonts. from, one sec, we have, yeah, we have the fonts from Google Fonts library. It's open source library available for developers as well as designers. They can use it from the Google Fonts library. You can look it up on Chrome and use it in your projects also. So now I'm put in a font called Lobster. So I'm gonna be using this Lobster regular font. I just love indentation so much. Okay. So we're gonna use this Lobster font for the title. Lobster is a similar font to the um, Instagram title font. It's very much similar to the original font. Just to make sure we don't interfere with anyone's rights and stuff, I'm gonna use a similar font instead of the original font. Well, you could work with original fonts also. It's available on Chrome. But here I'm gonna use this font, which is similar one to the original font. And then I'm gonna display it later. Okay, I'm having some little issue. Let's go to the next part. The next part is the input tags, right? But before that, what we need is right now, I'm gonna add some vertical padding here. So I'll do that. Vertical padding comes with, or rather than vertical padding, I'm gonna add a margin border. So what margin border will do is it will give a gap between itself and the next element. So I'm gonna give a margin border of 5, and then I'll need to add the input tag for the email, and I'll see these are all snippets. Okay, my bad. Input type email is all snippets. You can download the snippets extensions from the extensions tab also. So I'm just gonna give the name as email and ID as email too. In the class, I'm gonna give it as input, and rounded is not there, right? No, some minimal rounding it has, so SM. Okay, we have it there. No, it's more than that, so rounded MD, right? And then we're gonna remove this the color. We're gonna make it into VG slate 400, to maintain uniformity, and text slate, let's make it 800. Okay, looks good. No, doesn't look good. All right. So let's just make it 300. VG slate 300 will work too. Yep, that's it. But now we gotta extend it. So what do? We have given width full here. So what I'm gonna do is flex shrink 0. This is just gonna extend it, allow it to extend and work with full screens, because the by default input has its width defined here. Okay, its default width and height is all defined in the HTML, so we can just change it by using these classes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some padding to the container, let's say around P3, and then it's going to get its padding After that, yep, we have it there. After that, I'm gonna set this particular height there. Okay. We just need a placeholder. Placeholder is gonna be, let's say, abc at gmail.com. Okay, we have the placeholder there. Alright, that one sucks. Okay, this one looks good. And then, looks good, looks good. Okay. Now what? I'm gonna copy this, paste it here. Okay, this is gonna be for the password. Okay. Name and email is gonna be password. And then password is gonna be a secret. Wait, seriously? Yeah, fine. Now, how do you give the margin between them? Margin, I'm just gonna give 3. But for flex items, you can just give it as gap here, like, gap 3 or 2, whatever. But I'm using, margin here for no reason. Seriously. Okay, so now we have the appropriate margins also. But just the padding looks kind of off, so I'm just gonna give it a bit more padding. I'm gonna make it 5. 5 is too much, right? A bit too much, but it's fine. And I think I'm gonna reduce the height. So how do you do that? You're just gonna make it into input. SM. No, that's too small, right? Or you can just give the height as around h24. Is it too much? All right. Oh my god, that's too much. Okay, it's h14. And let me just see. Okay, still h14 is too much, bro. h8 and h8. How does this work? And not this either. h9 it is. Right. Should I say it looks good? Maybe it does look good. Okay. You can make a few more changes like text SM. That's it. There's a way to make things smaller. And then come here, and then it all looks good. Yeah, just give it stuff here. What's it? Seller.dev. And just so you get the realistic feels, just something. Just type in some random stuff there, and does it look similar? Yes, it does. So now we need the button. So how do we get the button? So first you put the margin bottom there, there's 3, and then we need a button, class is button. Daisy UI provides these buttons, so button is really cool. You can just add button primary as a class, but here I'm gonna add button info. No, button primary is a better one. I'm not have to hesitate too much. Okay, so first of all, rounded MD is minimal rounding I need, and then we're gonna need width full, and then here text is gonna be like login, right? Yeah, we have the login text right there. They're of equal height. So how to make sure that they're of equal height? Just giving the heights 9 there. Good stuff, right? Hopefully. No, it's not changing. God. Okay. So what do you do here? Here it changed the height. No. Remember the padding? And what do you get? Same stuff. So leave heads name for itself. Leave the button for itself. Can I button SM? Okay, get a particular height there. And then text SM. And then you can just give H9. Okay, now it looks good, right? Yes, definitely does. Okay, now log in, and it needs a space in between, bro. Sosh. Okay, there we go. But now this doesn't look like the color, like it doesn't match, right? So I'm just gonna go with info for now. Because info is the most suitable color there. Text. Sheesh. Text late 100 for the button. Right, 100 it is, I guess. And then after that, we have no the forgot your login details stuff. How do you do that? You put in a paragraph tag again, and then forgot. What does it say? Forgot your login details. Forgot your login details. And then get help logging in. That is a then get help logging in. This is gonna be an input tag and then GitHub login. Okay, this is fine. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna get some classes. This classes is text sm first of all. Okay, no, not this one. Text xs. What is xs? Xs is a size even smaller than sm. So yep, we'll go with xs for most of the stuff here because xs is the right size. Okay, and then yep, looks like it. Text xs and button will be adding md3 and 3 it is, right? Yeah, it is 3, and let's continue with adding the same for this one. Instead of sm I'm gonna use xs. All right, after this what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use we're gonna make this one, or before that here I'm gonna add a font bold. This class, what it does is it bolds text, and then I'm gonna use this text blue 700, the darker blue kind of stuff, right? Yeah, it's dark. Okay, anyway, after this what I gotta do is I gotta add a horizontal line, like horizontal row. How do you do that? You go here, p, you add an md3. Alright, here you add an hr tag with class is width for, yeah, that's it. Okay, and then h.5. I think 0.5 is too much for it. No, doesn't look like it. And then we have BG Slate 400. What does it look like? I don't know. Okay, then I'm gonna include a p tag, and in p tag I'm gonna include this, and then I'm gonna include this minus mt2, then or, then where's full text center. How does this work? We'll know very soon. That's my you know tailwind css complete rendering, and take like this. Alright, and then we have with text late 400, border gray 300. My bad. After this, minus MD2. Nope, we're gonna do it. Minus MD3 or minus MD We got it working now, and now I gotta check it. Right. If it looks any similar to the reference image, obviously it does, except for the fact that the font is bolder here. So I'm gonna add a font bold, and I'm gonna make this smaller. Text SM here, and then I guess we're ready to go, right? Yeah, need a bit more padding between the R and this one. So instead of MB3, I'm gonna add MB5, and yep, there we have it. Now in Facebook, Instagram, yep, English, and it's perfect. Except for the fact that this font looks a bit, dull. I'm gonna bring this, up. So how do you do that? Text late instead of 400, I'm gonna make it 600, and then, yep, now it looks a lot better, right? Yes, and then even for this one, no, this one looks the same, and then, yep, this is perfect. Right, yeah, the or looks even more smaller and it has a darker color. So what you do is for the or you add text slate 600, and then yeah, text access instead of text sm, text access, so it's even more smaller, and you can add padding 1.5 to here, vertical padding, and it's nearly perfect. Yep. And the forwarded login details stuff. Here we can add a text slate 600, and all of the details look good enough. Yeah, we got one more issue here, like instead of blue I'm gonna make it cyan. So how does cyan look? It doesn't look any good. No, it looks bad. 500. Nope, looks more like blue to me. So I'm just gonna put in blue, and yep, looks good enough. No, this is nearly perfect. Okay. And yes, that's it for today's video, and that was a basic walkthrough to building and building the Instagram login page in HTML and Node.js and tailwindcss. So this is just the beginning, and we're gonna do lots of more stuff. We're gonna do what? We're gonna add the functionality. We're gonna add many more pages, including the accounts page, the post page. We're gonna add the reels page and many more stuff. We're gonna make this into a complete clone in the upcoming videos. So make sure you do not skip any of the videos and watch till the end. We'll be coming soon with the next part of the video. Thanks for watching, and make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Like the video and share with your friends. Help them build their own Instagram clone. And thanks for watching the video. Bye bye.